Welcome back to the Elevate With Us podcast. Whether it's your first time here or you've been here before, please do me a favor and like and share and comment. And we are really in for a treat today. I'm really excited to introduce our guest, Tia Lipko. We're trying to figure out how we met. We're going to talk about it in a minute, but she is a part of a home inspection company and is a super great person. Plus, you have a really cute dog.
Oh, thank you.
Miss Penny.
Yep.
I remember when you first got her. I think where did you have her outside? Oh, at the Gina. That's how we met. Gina and Tony, the painting company.
Yeah.
And you had her at their grand opening.
Yeah, that one painter. Yep.
Yeah,
That's how we met.
Oh, there we go.
Uh-huh.
We were trying to figure it out before.
Yeah, and Penny was only a few weeks old. She's a platinum Frenchie, so
cute.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
Yeah.
And we were just like holding her and she was like this little love.
I should have put her on payroll because she's the best marketing tool.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm sure she costs enough. So she is payrolled.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you are a part of a home inspection company and you guys haven't been here very long in the Northeast Florida market. So how long have you guys been here?
We've been Pro-Spect Inspection Services. We've been here 2 years, August 1.
Wow, so only 2 years.
Yep.
And you have done a really great job of kind of getting out there and networking, which is really, really important because you need realtors to help you with your business. So what are some of the things you've done other than call me?
Yeah, well, networking and marketing it's so transferable, right? And
sure.
Like when you think about marketing as a whole, you've got all the other buckets of, we've got advertising, we've got promotion, and we've got, face-to-face networking. So marketing as a whole is just like hugely encompasses so many tasks.
Absolutely.
So you got digital and social, all the things. So we do a little bit of all of that. But over the years, and I've been with the company for 7 years.
Okay.
And I like to say that my marketing background began when I was in food and beverage. So that's where I learned how to people.
Sure.
It's true.
Sure.
So I have 20 years in food and beverage, and
wow.
including like bartending and everything. So that is really where I learned a lot about recognizing patterns and how to talk to people and stuff. So that kind of became my niche. Now, other people on our team are better at doing like social media posts or, creating content, things like that. That's not my forte. So I don't lean into that. I like the people that are good at it.
Sure.
So I do what I'm really good at, and that's the face-to-face stuff. So
absolutely.
That's what I lean into.
And you've done a really good job of doing pop-bys.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a memory that came up, I think, yesterday when you brought me a pumpkin.
Yeah.
And you put like Realty One Group Elevate on the pumpkin.
Yeah.
Which is personal. Mm-hmm. It's thoughtful. It takes time. And we were all so excited about it, which realtors can do the same thing, right? So I'm your customer, realtors are your customer, and then real estate people buying and selling houses are our customers. And we've talked about it before about the importance of this like breaking bread, face to face. Sometimes you can't do it, and so coming with a pop-by is amazing.
Yeah, it's all about creating the opportunity. So like for anybody that's in any service base, we all have customers and we all have clients. So regardless of what level you're trying to get customers and clients or whomever, you're going to have to put in the effort that nobody else is putting in. So some people will do like a pop by for me, which is like visiting real estate offices, is the same as if if an agent is going to do like door knocking.
Correct.
Or doing, school networking events or something.
Yep.
I'm very passionate about not doing any half-ass pop-bys is what I like to call them.
No, your pop-bys are good because we've had a few of them. You brought us like some Jags inspired ones and they had like the black and the teal beads. And I think maybe a football schedule that was last year. Yeah, you've done some really, really great ones.
Yeah, some of and thankfully I have like a team of people and I use Pinterest a lot for inspiration. But
but those are important tips because I think what happens to anyone, I am not the most creative, but I can execute it. If I get like a little bit of an idea, I can like make it my own, but I'm not good at creating the idea, if that makes sense.
Right.
And so I think realtors forget that they can kind of Google this stuff or go to Pinterest.
Yeah.
And it might say that it's a pop-by for teachers, but it doesn't mean that little cute saying wouldn't work for customers or realtors or whatever it is.
Right.
You don't have to recreate the wheel.
Right. And I've had people like that, realtors that have seen my pop buys. They're like, well, where'd you get this and where'd you get that? And I'll give them like the whole list. Like, here's my whole order list.
Oh, that's
Amazon
awesome.
Or whatever that they just ask, and I'll give
Right.
it to them. I'm not shy. But, you know, take my ideas. Take the ideas. They're there. Use other people's ideas. And you can make them your own. Or
Correct.
You see
Yeah.
something that is cool, like the whole, like a pumpkin, like the pumpkin thing, and it's October.
Yeah.
But like I got water slide paper, which you can print on it.
What's water slide paper?
Water slide paper is kind of like what they use to make temporary tattoos. So
that's, I think, what you used.
yeah, that's what I use. So water slide, you can print it on an inkjet printer at home, and then you cut it out, and then there's a transferring process. Because I was like, how can I give away these pumpkins without just putting like my logo on it with like a note card or something?
Right.
So just try to think about those sorts of things and like how to personalize them and make the brokerage feel important by having their logo and information.
It was really nice, and I actually wish I'd asked you sooner how you did it, and I never even thought to, because it was really, really neat. It was, I mean, everyone talked about it, and we kept the pumpkin inside, so he lasted for a really long time.
Nice, and it wasn't carved. So.
No, it was not
Right,
carved.
yeah.
And I think you brought us popcorn.
I did a caramel popcorn, a caramel chocolate popcorn.
Yes.
So it's quite, it's some of the things I do kind of bite off a little more than I can chew. So I'll recruit my kids to help me. But I think that's kind of where some people who have the best intentions on doing marketing and pop buys and door knocking and things like that, it's about making the time to do those things. Because like you said, you might not have the idea to do it, but like, okay, if you can get inspiration or pull ideas from somewhere
Right.
else, but am I going to create it, or am I going to pay somebody to create it? What does that look like?
Correct, yeah.
So, because putting these things together will save a lot of money if you're doing it yourself, but it's super time consuming.
Sure. Someone once told me you either have money or time.
Yeah.
Generally not both.
Yeah.
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 So I don't know where you are, but you know, money or time, not both. And, you know, a lot of realtors get kind of stuck in what to do and how to do it. And sometimes 80% done is better than not done at all, you know? So, and I love what you said, that these pop buys or these marketing items create an opportunity. That, I mean, I've never heard that before. And that really spoke to me. And I think it'll speak to other people, that by giving them this, you're creating the opportunity for when they think of home inspections, they think of you, or when they think of real estate, they think of the realtor, which is what I always say is that's what you're trying to do is, you know, be a polite stalker,
Right.
kind of send subliminal messages all the time, right? That you're constantly in front of them, because there's about 40 million home inspection companies, and there's about 40 million realtors. There's a lot of opportunity and options out there. So it's hard to kind of always stay in front of them.
It's really the heart of what I do and what I think is so important. It actually comes from my all-time favorite book, and that's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
So good.
It is like a hack for humaning, and in the book, Dale talks about how, you know, the overall essence of the book is making people feel important and how to make people feel important. And I think especially in today's society, people are so starved of like human connection. Like
So
what we're doing
agree.
right now, face to face. Like I'm vibing off of this.
It's so nice, right?
Yeah.
It's so fun, because a lot of people are like, oh, can we film on Zoom? I'm like, we can. But I don't, this to me is so much better, because I think you're right. We were so, we were stuck inside for so long. Even if you didn't shelter in place, you couldn't get together in big groups, and we dismiss it.
Right. So if you're leading with the whole heart behind, you know, just making people feel important, even when there's not a deal on the table, and you're consistent with that, you will win. Like I always say this, it's like a little thing I came up with, but at the intersection of consistent and meaningful follow-up and making people feel important is where the magic happens. And there's going to be an opportunity there. So like a lot of people have other inspection companies. Cool. Like if they're doing great for you, stay with them. Like don't let that go. A lot of people aren't doing a great job, especially in services. But if I'm going to stay consistent, I'm going to follow up, I'm going to make you feel important, I'm going to celebrate you having a new baby, like whatever the things are, you got a new home, I'm so happy for you. You're closing deals, excellent. And when that other company is booked out or they screw something up,
Absolutely.
I'm right there.
For sure.
So it's consistent follow-up, making people feel important, and creating opportunity when there's not opportunity there.
No, I mean, what you just said is having an abundance mindset, which is you feel there's enough business for everybody. And even if there wasn't the business opportunity when you sat down with them, I mean, when we sat down, I was like, I have home inspection companies that I already use. And same in the brokerage, you know, agents, when they come from other brokerages and they're established, you know, I would say realtors are not so good at change.
I think the special ones are very good at it.
Yeah, you know, we like have our group of vendors that we like, and they're not so good about going outside of it. But what you said is so true, because they might be booked out, or they missed something on a home inspection, and now your buyer is upset or whatever it is. And I think it's really important to ensure that you always have multiple vendor partners. You should never have your eggs in one basket.
Right, rule of three on that one. It's always good to just have three.
Always have three that you can refer to, because you just never know. And you should always give your customer that option. Say, hey, these are the 3 home inspection companies I work with most often. I wrote them down in no particular order. You know, feel free to call them. Or if there's one that you research and you want me to make the appointment for you, you know, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, as far as like the inspection world as an industry, and because I'm touching on the fact that you said like having an abundance mindset. Yeah. We like Pro-Spect is literally that company. We coach in 2 home inspection companies that in the country. Okay. So this has never actually even been done before, and it just got announced. I saw today. Okay. But we coached in one group, and then we coached in another group. We could not coach in the same group at the same time. Okay. Well, now they're like, no, we want you guys to continue to coach. So we're coaching in 2 groups, coaching home inspection companies all over the United States and one in Ireland. Yes.
First of all, never once in my life have I ever thought about home inspections in other countries. Like, that's pretty shallow. I recognize that. But real estate is so different in other countries that I never really... It just never dawned on me that there'd be home inspections, just because there's different. A lot of the times they sell the houses with all the furniture. It's like a really common, you know, they're just a lot different. In Ireland.
We have a lot to learn.
Wait, do you get to go to Ireland?
The owners just went there, so they got to go visit. Peter and Stella are the inspection company owners in Ireland that we know and we coach. Yeah. And they're the most wonderful people. And
plus, you get to listen to them talk, which is just so great.
So fun.
So great.
So they have, Peter and Stella have shared a lot of really interesting information, because home inspections have been around for hundreds of years there, and it's only been around since the 80s in America. So it's quite interesting to see.
Wow, they're really advanced.
Yeah, and their homes are very old. And
I was just thinking, I cannot even imagine what they find. Yeah, I mean, like,
it's different.
I mean, they all have basements, and they just are all old and stone, and their roofs are different, and they must have great stories. They must find all kinds of weird animals. That's always what I think about when I think of home inspections. Like, I could never be a home inspector because I'd be terrified of just finding creatures.
Oh, well, yeah. Find them
all the critters, right? Dead, alive, like disintegrating, like just the worst. Yeah. Which I'm sure Kyle has really great stories. I'm sure he comes home and he's like, guess what I saw today?
Oh, he is like, so Kyle's my husband, and he's our lead inspector here in Jacksonville, but he is so grossed out by cockroaches, is not even funny.
Oh, that's such a problem here.
I mean, I was like,
even like the cleanest of houses has cockroaches here. Yeah. I mean, sorry if you are new to Florida, you didn't know that. They're everywhere.
They're palmetto bugs. We don't even call them cockroaches.
Oh, whatever. It's the same thing. It's like, it just sounds so cute. Right. Because I remember when I moved here, someone was like, oh, that's a palmetto bug. I'm like, where is it? And they're like that. I'm like, that's a cockroach.
Yeah, and it's like 3 inches thick.
They're so gross. They're so gross. I just had one run out of my garage the other day. Like, I was moving things around, and I mean, I swear it was Jurassic Park sized.
Yeah, that's what it was like here. But yeah, he does get a little grossed out by those. But you know, it's part of the gig. And
I see you don't feel bad for him at all.
He's fine. He's fine. He's tough. So he's oh my gosh, where was it saying? With Peter and Stella, and like learning from the real estate market and what's happened, because they've been involved. It's just so much of an older country. People have been buying and selling property in Ireland much longer than the United States.
Of course.
So it's so interesting to see and even get their perspective on what they kind of see happening here. You know, are you guys noticing any patterns? Are you recognizing anything? Because they don't have buyer's agents there. They just have listing agents. They call them well, they're just listing agents, basically. Just simple.
Yeah, real estate's super different in other places, and people don't realize that buyer agency in the U.S. is really quite new as well. Yeah, it hasn't been really around that long. So tell me a little bit more about this coaching. So what do you coach other home inspection companies on? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, so basically, I personally have done 2 mastermind sessions in the coaching community. We did one this past May, and I was coaching in the difference between what a coach is, what a consultant is, what is mentoring, and what is counseling, who needs what at what stages within their employment with you. So I was more talking to leaders on this one. And then the first one was the year before this year, and in May as well. And we were talking about, oh my gosh, it was a strategy. It was more of a workshop. Okay. So we're talking about a few different things. But in general, we're coaching a lot of companies that are smaller than us, of course. So we're teaching them to kind of get where we were, but like faster. So it's like learn from our mistakes is very much what it is. Nice. And then we do have a leadership training that we put together in-house. Christy and Wes put that together, and like as they were creating it and making it, I was like, hey guys, let's film this content and put this training together and open so it can be opened up to other people. So not so Pro-Spect specific.
That's awesome.
So they do have that. It's fully refined. It's perfect. It's all good. Everybody in our company, if they want to be in leadership, they have to go through it. So that's that. But we're opening that up, and we're going to be sharing that training with the people in our coaching community. So we're just teaching them all the hard lessons that we had to learn: hiring, leadership, getting a coach, because that is the thing that will elevate your business more than anything, because you don't know what ceilings you even need to break through sometimes, and your coach will ask you those good questions. So lots of that. So a lot of trainings, and more of it's, we can get deep and tactical about certain things, like how to do the inspection. Right. But that's not really what people ask us about. It's more like, okay, well, I'm on to toot my own horn here.
Do it. Let's go.
Toot my team's horn. But when we moved down here, we're from Delaware.
Yes, I know.
We knew nobody here. Me, my husband, 3 of our kids, we moved here and knew nobody but other home inspection companies from coaching. Okay. That is all we knew. And in our first year, we did $333,000, and we've grown 66% this year. So
amazing.
It's not chump change. Some companies, for perspective, most home inspection companies have a very, very hard time of hitting over that $450,000-$475,000 mark, and we're already there. I mean, that's our second year.
I mean, it's amazing, and I really feel a lot of it is because of your just what you've done. You know, I mean, like I said, we were introduced because one of my real estate customers, who's Gina's also been on the podcast, has a painting company. And then you guys, I think, were in a B&I group together. And then, I don't know, you were you, which is great. You were kind and nice and fun. And you and Gina connected because Gina's also the same. I absolutely love her. And here we are. And I mean, I've used you guys a number of times. You guys did a home inspection on my personal home because, and I've talked about this before, and you should maybe add this into what you want to do, is I really think that home inspection companies should have another division where it's for people who just want to know the general maintenance they need on their house. So every year to a year and a half, like they bought a house, and maybe a year later you say, hey, it's been a year since you had a home inspection. Instead of a home inspection, we call it a blah, blah, blah inspection. We got to get a really good name.
More of a walk and talk sort of a thing. Yeah.
Well, just Kyle didn't do what the owner of the company did. Do you remember?
Yeah, he was covering.
Yeah, he was covering. And I mean, I'd had a home inspection literally 15 months earlier, and they found a couple of home maintenance items, which I'm not handy. I don't know what I'm doing. And he let me know, hey, you know, your air conditioning needs this, and you have this hole in your attic, and whatever it was. And I was able to fix it because critters could have come inside. Yeah. And I wouldn't have known about it because I don't know when outlets are dying. And I remember him and I talked about it, and he's like, I mean, this is like a really great idea. just to have, I mean, it's a great way to keep business going, to stay in touch with customers, to say, it's been a year, so I know your home inspection costs blank. Maybe it's a little less expensive because it doesn't have to be so, like, you don't need a WDO or a wind mat or anything like that. But at some point, based on the age of these roofs, customers will need a wind mat and a 4-point to get a discount.
And who knows what the insurance companies are going to do in the meantime.
Oh, it's for another day. Oh Lord, that's a whole bag of worms, cup of worms, nightmare. Even though I think it's getting better. I think we're just. I like to be positive.
Yes.
So I want to talk a little bit more about coaching, because I know it's really a big passion of yours and something that, you know, you obviously have taught really well on. So I want to talk about, you've been to this before, the difference between coaching, mentoring, and I don't remember the other two things you mentioned.
Right. So when people hear of coaching, a lot of people, they think that it's a lot. So say I'm coaching you. Okay. And they're like, okay, great. You know, Tia's going to give me all the answers and stuff. That's actually not a coaching relationship. A coaching relationship is going to be you coming to me and being like, hey, like, I'm struggling with this and this. Like, here's like something that I just can't wrap my mind around. I'm going to sit there and just ask you really good questions and facilitate a conversation to help you with your own self-discovery. So that's a coaching relationship. Now,
and it's pretty broad.
It's very broad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's basically just helping you troubleshoot a problem and get to ultimately where you want to be.
Sure.
So, yeah, and coaching relationships are, I think, super valuable. It's almost like therapy sessions, for real. It's great, though.
No, I mean, I am a firm believer in coaching. I have never, since I started practicing real estate here in Florida, I've always been coached.
Yeah.
And I would say most of the coaching was a blend of coaching and mentorship. I think sometimes the sessions, or if you went to a workshop through it was a little bit more in mentorship, where the individual sessions were generally a little bit more in coaching, which most people don't understand the difference of those things. And I think most people want mentorship or need mentorship, but hire for coaching.
Right.
And they have it wrong.
Right.
Stay tuned for part 2 of this Elevate With Us podcast.